Word. So I'm going to just, let me see by a show of hands, how many people that are still here, was this their first DEF CON ever? Holy shit. Like, where did you guys come from? So what did you guys think? Was it worth it? Yeah. Are you guys going to come back next year? Right on. Very cool. Well, thanks for showing up for the first time. I was really worried that we weren't going to have nearly as many people as we did last year, but I was like a total loser on that. I don't know where you guys came from, but it totally rocked because you brought a whole, not prison. You guys brought a whole new spirit that was really nice. There's a lot of new fresh faces asking a lot of questions, having a lot of fun. So it's really cool to see the con and the spirit of the con continue. Hey, I want to have this guy right here, ETA, raise your hand. Woo! This is the official DEF CON photographer, and you're going to see sometimes in the middle screen here a slideshow of what he's been doing. I don't know why it's not displaying the slideshow right now. The video switcher people could switch it back. That would be cool. These are pictures he took throughout the con. We're just going to have it running when there's not output or a presentation from one of the other contests. So that was all ETA. Let's give him a round of applause. We're going to put these pictures online. Also, I'd like to say, how many people, by show of hands, at one point or another checked out the Twitter feeds? Wasn't that crazy? Like, nothing last year, and this year it totally dominated. It was really handy, and so, of course, we're going to be doing that again. That was pretty cool. We also had Neil and Nikita doing a lot of quick video streaming. How many people checked out the video feeds? Not that many, huh? Yeah, it was pretty cool. They're all going to be online as well, so you can check them out later. And that's something we'll also continue in the future. And then also, I just wanted to briefly touch on the badges, and I wanted to apologize for the badge screw-up, arriving late. And I don't know if some of you heard, but when the first batch of parts got stuck in Chinese customs, I ordered another complete set of badges so we could try to make them in time, and they got stuck in customs. But the first batch cleared, and that's why we have badges. So you can all guess what processor we'll be using next year. And there might be an LED on some of them. Because I have a lot of those, apparently. So for those of you into the badge hacking, start thinking about using that processor, because it's going to be on the badge next year. Okay, one other quick thing. I wanted to thank everybody who is using the DEF CON forums. It was fantastic for organizing all the events. And Cotman is around here. Maybe he's still here. I wanted to thank Cotman for being such a great moderator and watching over the forums and helping us not get hacked so far. He puts in a lot of time in administrating the systems there. And how many people checked out the Retro Computing Lounge? Yeah. That was some pretty cool shit. That was just a strange email from Jason Scott. And he's like, I know this guy Pavel and this guy Salim, and they've got like a VAX, and they want to drive it out from California, and they need three-phase power. Can you do that? So we found some three-phase power, and we got a little Retro Computing Lounge, and I think we want to have it back next year. But next year, you guys have to bring your VAX 0 day on the punch cards. Because we're going to have a VAX hacking contest next year, I believe. Yeah. Okay, with that said, I want to kick the official part off. I want to introduce my Chief of Operations, Second in Command, Zach, who's been helping out, running DEF CON for 16 years. 1 year less than me. So Zach's going to go through and acknowledge a lot of the different groups, and we're going to kick it off. So I'd like to introduce Zach and have him introduce and thank all the teams that made it possible. Okay, Zach, come on up. Right on. I think we can say this was a successful year.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeff is responsible for kind of selecting all the content and making DEF CON the coolest hack con in the world.
Yeah!
Rondo! But unfortunately, he can't organize his way out of a paper bag, and that's where I come in.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I do. So, for for pretty much 17 years, every year, I say to Jeff, we're going to have more people next year, order more badges. And in the last few years, I say, Jeff, get the badges done earlier.
We had them done by May. Yeah, we had the badges done in May, Zach.
You see, he said, I had one in my hand in February, and I'm like, did you have 6,000 in your hand in February? Okay, so generally you don't see me much. If you see me, I'm kind of running around looking harassed, or harassed for you Americans. So about 10 years ago at DEF CON 7, Jeff didn't quite make it to open the con. And I'm like, it's 3 o'clock, fuck it, we're opening anyway. At that point, all the senior staff turned around and looked at me, and I'm like, hell no. So I looked around and I'm like, hey you, come here. So I don't know if you guys ever saw Dogma, where Alan Rickman played the voice of God. This is Priest, he's the voice of Zach. So normally when I want to kind of talk to you guys en masse, I use Priest. And this time I'm gonna have him send a message to you, and then I need you to send a message from him for me.
By the way, Zach spelled backwards is God. For those of you. We would like you all to chant together in synchronicity, "Hey Jeff, badges by Christmas, please." Hey Jeff, badges by Christmas, please. Hey Jeff, badges by Christmas, please. Hey Jeff, badges by Christmas, please. Have you got that?
And since this all runs downhill, hey Joe.
If you give me your credit card, I'll get it done by Christmas.
Okay, so Mr. Moss, time to bust out that shiny Amex.
Yep.
Okay, so by Christmas, right?
Thank you, sir.
All of them done, right?
I can't vouch for Chinese customs, but we'll give it our best shot. For those of you who don't know, the reason why we don't produce them in the States is because it's 300% more to assemble in the States. And so if I had to pay American rates to assemble the badges, you'd get like a bent piece of metal with like a blinky light on it. Or we would just be broke and you'd have like a really cool badge and then nothing else would happen at the con. So anyway, there's a reason why we assemble over there, but we're looking at other countries that might be a little bit more reliable. And yes, we're going to Germany. We're trying for December. Zach just loves giving me a hard time. Like, I don't see Zach for 9 months, and then he pops up 3 months before the con and is like, let's do stuff. And we're like, yeah, but we've been doing stuff for 9 months. See, it works both ways, Zach.
Two thoughts. One, was it Truman who said the buck stops here, Chief? Secondly, I'd like to do a very special Spot the Fed.
Do you have anybody in mind?
Nikita? You see, one of these staff here actually went over to the dark side. We actually have photos of it too, live for later. They're not photoshopped.
So you wrote something in the program that it doesn't count because you don't have a badge.
That's right.
Well,
I'm not a Fed.
no, you have a badge.
My badge number is 1337 with a Department of DEF CON. My jurisdiction is very limited.
So next year there will be a special prize if you can get Jeff on stage to be spotted.
Social engineering contest.
And Jeff, that was came to be from a lot of help from the exotic liability too.
Oh, excellent. Okay, keep going.
So, in previous years, we've tried to thank. In previous years, we've tried to thank everyone. Unfortunately, our staff just keeps growing and growing. For years, we get more and more organized every year. We used to literally throw DEF CON together in like one day. Pretty much, Jeff would have the talks, and we'd actually do the organization on site the day before, and basically pull the con out our ass. We can't really do that anymore. So we've got a whole bunch of departments, and we're going to start with the goons in red, our security. They've been herding you around, but give them props because it's a nightmare to handle 9,000 people. I'd also like to get you to give some props to the reg people who had to reg most of you twice. So the reg staff, wherever they are, hands up. Phil, Tyler, and reg staff. Next up is are the speaker goons, the guys in blue that make sure all the speakers get on time and make sure they're sober. We've got the green guys from the info booth sitting over there. Dispatch, who keep us all coordinated. You're going to be doing a lot of clapping. Keep it up. The guys from the swag booth, we had a new operation this year, and we tried to make things faster for you. So the swag booth guys who worked their arse off, and also to Ping, who created a lot of the swag for you guys. Okay, everything comes in and out via our quartermaster, which his team is probably hanging over there. There you go. And ETA, who's got the camera, he's one of the QM crew as well. So, DEF CON quartermaster. We've got the NOC team. Save your applause because they're going to be coming up and talking in a little bit. But they bust their ass every year. They're in a week early to get the network deployed. So, yeah. Child Wrangler, aisle 1. Okay. Actually, what the hell? NOC team. Okay, we've got Chris and the vendor team who make sure you've got lots of shiny to buy. Chris, where are you? Ah, yay! Now, one of the hardest things to do here is to wrangle the press and stop the. Oh, we just want 30 seconds of spiky-haired blue hackers at the end of the show, so we can go scary hackers in Vegas. Nico, who's should be floating around as our press wrangler, and she pretty much single-handedly, literally, made sure that DEF CON gets the best press coverage ever. We've got Woz and Gonzo from handling. They make sure all our stuff gets to where it needs to be. So handling. We've got Nikita, who helps schedule all the talks. And Neil with the funky mohawk. Do you still have your sideburns? A mohawk and sideburns. Neil does all the fantastic t-shirt artwork. Where am I? Oh, yeah, over here, the lady with the cans on, that's Cheryl. She handles all the hotel work. Say hi, Cheryl. And finally, the contest guys, who you're going to see a lot of. Russ and Pyro. And finally to Jeff, who actually makes things challenging for me and a lot of fun for you. Give Jeff a hand. Okay, now, historically, we've had a bit of a rough relationship with hotels.
No.
Just a little. However, the guys at the Riviera, we've been here, this is our third year here, have literally busted their ass to make DEF CON fun for you guys. We have Teresa, who's over there. Wave your hand, Teresa. Teresa is our convention services person. She's the person that went out on a limb to make sure you guys got $2 beers at Happy Hour this year. So my first DEF CON was DEF CON 2, and we were at the Sahara, and they had $2 beers there as well, 16 years ago. So that's not bad. Also, I'd like to thank Doug, who is the Ribs head of security. Teresa, is Doug around?
Is Doug
Okay.
somewhere?
You need to give this guy props because...
Zach, all you have to do is look up at the nearest concealed video
yeah.
camera and you'll see.
Hey, Doug. But seriously, this guy is the guy that puts up with most of the shenanigans and tries to ensure you guys don't actually get arrested. So I want a freaking big hand of applause for Doug Popper. Sorry, I'm drying up. Evil, evil. Okay. So, also we've got the AV guys that are, we couldn't live without. Encore. And also the guys from Source of Knowledge that capture everything so that you can take it home with you, and that Jeff can put the entire of DEF CON on the DEF CON website for free. And all of it. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the DJs and VJs for the Black and White Ball. Scott Novich for coordinating all for the pool parties, and for the guys that decorated the chill out room. It was fabulous. Thank you very much. And with that, I will pass you back to Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach, for all the work you put in each year.
Oh, and one last thing. I just like to thank you guys, because you know what? It's your patience and your tolerance when there are kind of fuck-ups and things like that that really make it all worthwhile for me. I mean, you really guys, I have to say, I love you. Thank you.
Yeah. You know how every year at DEF CON you sort of have a DEF CON moment, and mine was after the 10,000 Cent Pyramid. I was checking out the Hacker Jeopardy show, which has grown up quite a bit. They've got these fancy graphics, and Wynn's actually wearing a tuxedo, not like an old shabby suit. And everybody's looking pretty grown up, and all of a sudden a mobile DJ booth comes down with like a fog machine, and there's flashing lights. Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck is that sound in the hallway? And I look down there, and there are these guys like, white lines, and they're cruising, and they motor right into the Hacker Jeopardy, do a 180, get everybody to dance, and then roll out of there. And I'm like, okay, I'm at DEF CON right now. That was I'm officially at con. Okay, so the con runs on Brondo, food, and bandwidth. And the bandwidth is brought to you by the NOC team. And in charge of the NOC is the mighty Lockheed, who's going to give you a little bit of information on what the hell happened with the network this year. We had some great bandwidth, and he just pulls it off every year. And this year they did some pretty cool statistics. So give it up for Lockheed.
All right, who's still awake? From last night. Hey, sweet, it works. All right, so who here was brave enough to use the network this year? Oh, yeah. The rest of you work on that next year. All right, so give you guys just kind of a brief rundown. Like Jeff and Zach said, me and my team, we arrived here a week early for some god unknown reason. And we spent 45 hours over Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday setting all this shit up for you guys. I don't want to jinx it, but I think 17 might be our lucky number because Wednesday was the first time we've ever been set up by the end of the day. So, it actually went really smoothly, and I do actually have to thank the hotel IT and AV departments for really being on the ball and just being there Monday morning at 8 a.m. before we were even awake, really, saying, okay, where's your stuff? Let's go put it together. Fantastic. So we were ready first thing Thursday morning when you guys were standing in line hoping that there were badges. And
silly human.
I know. You'll learn one day. And for the most part, really kept everything up and running for 4 bloody days here. And if any of you follow Twitter, I know there were a few of you, you could always catch all the shenanigans running on Pound DEFCON, Pound Drink Hose, or Pound Sparky. So when we landed, we had quite a to-do list. We worked really hard with all the department heads this year, all the contests, all the vendors, everybody, to find out, okay, what the hell do you need when you come in on Wednesday or Thursday and plug in. So we had quite a long list of work, including setting up the mobile tactical bar. So the network this year, and I hope I know some of you stopped by and saw the network session on Thursday night. We actually revealed what the network looks like, how it's designed, how it's laid out. And we're going to be releasing some more of that stuff once we get home and get sober. Because we want to actually get you guys involved and do a little bit of peer review on the firewall rules, the ACLs, the rule sets, etc. So be looking on the forums for some information about that. On the wired side of the house this year, we had 25 networks, more than previous years, of course. We had 36 rooms we had to cover across 45 different patch requests from all sorts of crazy folks. 50 VLANs on the wireless network, which was comprised of 39 APs, almost all of which were serving bandwidth for you guys. This is the most number of APs we've had so far because it's the most number of you we've had so far. Network usage, down from last year. Last year we had about 4,500 people on the network over the course of the con. But despite having less of you, there were actually a lot more data and more people online at the same time. So those of you who did get on used it a lot more. And to prove that point, most of the con, you guys had the internet connection pegged. So we've already been talking about getting more for next year, so get ready.
That was 20 meg.
That was 20 meg. 20 meg, yes. So as always, we keep stats on the wireless network, and up a little bit this year from last year. Good job. Give yourselves a round of applause. You've been busy. So I asked Louise earlier. Louise is my guy in charge of the Wi-Fi here, and he handed me these stats. I'm like, okay, DOS attacks, man-in-the-middle attacks, policy violations. It's a policy violation. You know, blah, 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 blah. So really, it's just something we don't want you to do and we smack you for. Okay.
Is that when they attack the rogue access points?
It's rogue access points. It's just you doing bad stuff that we go, no, not so much. If we take a look at actually the wireless traffic itself and compare this against the 20 megs we have, you'll see that almost all of the bandwidth is actually being used by you guys. And we sat there, we were really concerned that we're pegging the bandwidth. Oh my God, people are going to start complaining. Nothing, can't get out to the internet, so on and so forth. We really didn't get any of that feedback, and we're like, okay, something's wrong. So we started sitting down, looking at the traffic going across the line, going, okay, somebody hogging the bandwidth, downloading torrents, downloading porn, whatever it is. No, it was just you guys were going all over the place, and it was just regular old traffic. So I'm really kind of happy to see nobody was hogging the bandwidth this year. DEF CON TV, we continued our tradition. Served up during the last 4 days 69,000 hits. 2/3 of that from outside the con. So, Jeff, there's obviously some people who aren't making it here yet. Yeah.
Damn right, more badges. Earlier badges.
What was that?
Say that again? I want it in my stocking! So we served over 3,700 video streams from DCTV this year. Some of you may have seen what we set up. We set up the Hacker Confessional over at the info booth in the contest area.
Which is the coolest thing.
Why, thank you. It was just a big gray box, a webcam, and a green button that says press me. And you get 30 seconds to do what you want. We decided that mooning the camera would have been okay. Licking the camera, not so much. So we only got 27 usable videos, but they all got up on DCTV and are streaming right now. So it's kind of interesting. Jeff had an idea this year. Yeah. That was good? So we were really curious to see what impact Jeff's ideas have on the network here. So we did some analysis and saw the effect of the Savage Mostos. So what you see is that while all you were standing in line, you had nothing else to do. So you got on your iPhones after you patched them. That was what pegged the internet the day before. And for about an hour and a half, as you're standing in line, we pegged the internet. As soon as you came in here to sit down, well, usage dropped. Hey, they're doing something else now. Adam starts talking, people start watching the quick video stream, they start getting bored, internet bandwidth starts going up. Adam's talk ends, bandwidth goes down. I see a correlation here. So we'll just have more really cool talks so we can say bandwidth. He likes that. All right, so that's really all I got from me and my team. Will my team please stand up? Now sit down. Now stand up. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. And as soon as this ceremony is over, we start planning DEF CON 18, God Save Us All.
Yeah, maybe right after.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Just before you start.
No, go up there. Did you do dispatch? Go up there so it makes it official.
Yeah.
Yeah, do next is dispatch, and then we'll go to the contest.
Hey, one last thing. I forgot to mention, I always forget something this year. Just give the dispatch team a hand. I think we gave them a hand earlier, but
They work really hard.
yeah, they worked their ass off. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving into the contest section here. And a couple of years ago, some of you might have heard the story, but we're having some churn in the contests, and I really wanted to reinvigorate it, but I was so busy with the other functions of the con, I couldn't also step up and coordinate more things. And Russ had a brilliant idea. Hey, I think I know some people. Maybe I can help with some contests. And I was like, that is the curse. You just volunteered, sir. And so since then, Russ has been really fundamental in helping foster new contests, watch over them, so much so that he had to get a second person to help him with contests, Pyro. And so both of them are now going to go through all the contests and the results and let you know how it turned out. And to speed things up this year, we've got a stage over here with Pyro. Pyro! We've got Russ over here on stage 1, and what we're going to do is, while we're doing the results for one contest here, the next contest will be setting up over there, and we'll alternate to get through the contests faster this year. So let's kick it off.
All right, I'm going to try not to screw up this year so you guys don't start screaming, drink, drink. Okay, so we're going to start off with Coffee Wars. This is one of our longest running contests. Not the longest, but one of the longest running, so I'm going to let them go with it so we can keep moving.
All right, first, thanks to Russ, the Goons, DT, DEF CON, and all the people that we've made friends with over the years. It's hard to believe this was actually the 10th Coffee Wars. Kind of amazing. A couple of statistics. Our average price per pound this year was $10.83, which is really reasonable and much lower than it has been. The most expensive coffee was only $20 a pound. We had 35 entries, which was an all-time record. We ran out of water twice and had to send for reinforcements. And we actually had to turn 2 entrants away, which I felt really bad about. We had lots of home roasters entering this year, which is really kind of the hacker spirit. A lot of off-the-beaten-track international entries from Kuwait. I didn't even know they had coffee. And Bali. We had our first obscenity entry from the Thought Crime Collective, the double plus fuck yeah. And we had our first commercial entry that actually went to the trouble of making special labels, and they donated a T-shirt, which we'll be giving away in a minute. We recognize 2 honors in Coffee Wars. The first is just the best coffee overall, and then the second is bang for the buck, which is the ratio of the best overall rating to dollars per pound. And so bang for the buck is usually dominated by home roasters, and this year is no exception because they don't have to pay a lot of overhead. This is the first time, though, that a home roaster has won overall also, though. And also the first time that the same entry has won in both categories. So it's a very impressive coffee. And it was a decisive victory, too. Almost 2 standard deviations above the average score. So with an overall score of 7.5, the next closest was 7.0, and an entry titled simply Coffee, the Coffee Wars judges are pleased to award this year's championship in both categories to Agent X. Agent X. So you get the magic Coffee Wars mug and a delightful T-shirt.
You have to tell us what your secret is. How in the hell did you do that?
So this is actually commercially available coffee. I did not make this coffee. This is coffee I get from a local coffee shop. And it's called the Radio Bean. It's in Burlington, Vermont, and they French press everything. It is fucking fabulous, and it is horribly inexpensive at $2 a pound.
Excellent.
All right, we're actually breaking the sync a little bit. I'm sorry, Pyro.
No, it's all good, man.
Okay, so we've got the Wall of Sheep guys. For those of you that were actually on the DEF CON network, I warned you on day 1 that these were the people that you didn't want to be on the DEF CON network for.
Hey, I'm Riverside. I'm with the Wall of Sheep.
Hey, Riverside.
So, anyway, the Wall of Sheep's a security awareness project that started over 7 years ago. Eat the microphone. Okay. Voice is a little raspy. I've been here for a long time. No, that's your job. Anyway, in a typical DEF CON fashion, we attempt to bring a bit of humor to a serious issue. Our main mission is to educate the masses in security awareness. It's been a really great year for the Wall of Sheep, and for all of those attendees that didn't protect their information, not so great. Especially the Twitter users. Each year we passively monitor the information being broadcast without proper protection. Unfortunately, we captured a lot of information that wasn't protected. This year we came across 2 really disturbing issues that really need to be addressed by the user community. The first one being too many people running around without protecting their RFIDs. This exposes employees to a breach of physical security, and if you use it for authentication, you possibly have just breached your information security as well. The second being the fact that a large number of unnamed antivirus vendors are failing to use encryption or protection for their subscription systems. So not only are the people that are out there wanting free antivirus grabbing your authentication, getting as much as they want, they're also using a really dangerous man-in-the-middle exploit and pushing down fake DAT files with malware using your legitimate antivirus product. So hopefully from this, they'll learn and do some encryption with that. We'd really like to thank DEF CON and all the other people that supported us this year. In closing, we need to encourage the industry to really learn from the lessons in the past and encrypt, or you'll regret it in the end. One really quick thing. So with the RFID, RFED, all your bases are belong to us. Use some Faraday shielding or something. Thank you.
All right. This year we also had a new contestant step up. We also encourage you guys, if you guys have an idea for a contest, please hit the DEF CON forums and register the idea. You'll get tons of people either telling you how much they love it or how much they hate it. But one of our new contests this year is the Geo Challenge. Would you guys please step up?
Geo!
If you guys notice these guys had some very cool stuff that they had going on. And they were telling me some of the stories about some of the places where they had their caches. So,
hey, Pyro, as a side note, you have these gentlemen to thank for Adam Savage coming out. He's the one that got in touch with Adam's assistant. So if you can give him a round of applause, please.
So we had this idea about 2 years ago to have the Geo Challenge, which is a geocaching contest. I posted on the forum, and we got a little bit of feedback on there. There was a little bit of interest. And last year at the con, we kind of talked to more people, and there was more interest, and GPS and geocaching was becoming more popular. So we decided, as of last year, to start the planning on this contest. And at the beginning of the year, we started putting it together. So I thought, well, who can make the contest?
Closer to the microphone. Speak closer to the microphone. It's kind of going.
It's on that side.
Our speakers are out over here on this side.
Hang on 1 second, Syntax. I can hear me over here. I can't hear him. Try it.
Check, check.
There you go.
Okay. So I emailed Adam Savage hoping to get some DVDs or maybe some T-shirts from Mythbusters, and he emailed back at like 3 in the morning in less than 15 minutes. Saying, oh yeah, I definitely would be interested in helping y'all guys out. We'll send you some props from the show. So for the first place team, we actually got these nice kits that we gave all 3 members of the first place team. It contains a metal plate that was shot by a 9mm bullet by Adam Savage in a filming of an episode where they did bulletproofing, and a certificate of authenticity. So once we secured that, once we secured these prizes from Adam, I started talking to his assistant, and the topic of him possibly presenting here at DEF CON came up. So they had to plan in between his filming of the show and everything, and that was like a done deal. He said, you know, definitely, I want to come. So that's how we got him here this year. We weren't sure like how many people we were going to have compete in our contest, but the results were overwhelming. We had over 12 teams register and over 30 contestants actually compete in our contest. 2 teams actually finished all of the challenges. There's 31 challenges completed. Consisted of puzzles, trivia, ciphers, number puzzles, word puzzles, and then actually going out with GPS coordinates and finding caches that were embedded with RFID numbers. Some of the geocaches that we actually put out there were a lawn sprinkler that was hollowed out, contained a note inside, a wall plate at a bus stop that contained an RFID in the back with magnets, and an escort card. And it was embedded with an RFID disc and a magnetic backing, and hidden inside one of the media booths that they have out on the sidewalk. So we had the two teams that actually finished it. The first team was the Turbo Turtles, and the second team was Trilanda. We also had a third place team, the Arrogant Bastards. They actually spent over 2 hours walking around in grass looking for a geocache that we had hidden on the other side of the street. And all it was a fake plant with a little RFID implant taped onto it. We're going to have pictures of some of the caches, and we're going to have a lot of information, like demonstrations and some examples of the puzzles, so that anyone interested can go on our website at defcongeochallenge.com and take a look at that stuff. So the response was overwhelming. We had tons of people that wanted to register, so this is definitely going to be an event that we're going to put together next year, and we're going to step it up to the next notch. One more thing, I'd like to thank the Knock, because the network, our contest was online based and it worked fantastic. We had absolutely no problems with the network connectivity. Everybody was able to connect to the website without any problem. Also, Joe Grand for help with the Parallax RFID readers, and Freescale for the microchip development kits. Thank you.
All right, before I go into the next one real quick, I want to make sure all of you guys understand there's a lot of logistical crap that goes on with making all this happen and make sure the space is right. And I just want to reiterate my thanks to Teresa Madsen and her team in the hotel, because really, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have the tables, the chairs, the space. We wouldn't be able to use the loading dock. We couldn't change the lights. It'd be a big pain in the butt. So thanks to all of you for helping kind of obey the rules, and thanks to Teresa for putting up with our crap again. All right, so we're going to move on to the first black badge contest, and it's the Open CTF guys from DC 949. So come on up, guys.
Yeah. So how many guys participated this year? Yeah?
Raise your hands.
Raise your hands.
Raise your hands if you're
Yeah,
there.
that's good enough. Who saw the vending machine? Yeah? Aren't you sick of that crap by now? Yeah, can we get the teams Quail, Vand, and Neg9 to come up? Quickly. Only have about 2.5 minutes to do this. Run or you don't get your prizes.
Right on.
All right, so we had, these are the top 3 winning teams. Quail won first place, which means they get the black badge, as well as the coolest vendor prizes, and the DC 949 challenge coin. Next up we had Team Vand. They got second place. I don't remember the scores right now, but they get the second coolest vendor prize pack.
Van?
All right. And Neg9 pulled in 3. Sorry, Neg9 pulled in 3, and they get the third coolest vendor prizes.
So what was the trick with the contest this year? What was it like? Was it all offense, defense?
Well, it was not so much emphasis on defense, but the hardest part was actually setting it up. A lot of logistics issues. But big thanks to Overdose and Int80 and Hackers for Charity and the other vendors that helped supply the prizes.
Is there a website they can go to learn more?
Oh yeah, dc949.org. Come check it out. Oh, by the way.
Who here drank Brondo? Blame him. This is the reason why there's over 70 cases of Brondo at DEF CON, right here.
I'm sorry, but it worked out.
It's got electrolytes.
It's what hackers crave. My voice is gone. I'm tired. It's been great. By the way, the vending machine raised over $330 for the EFF, so...
Yeah. You're going to pick somebody to get the badge. Who gets the badge, yeah.
Well, they can decide who picks
it.
So.
They ran off without the badge?
Yeah. Thanks. Team Quail ran off without their black badge. Look how fast they run back. Excellent.
Know how much I hate World of Warcraft.
We can have the audio on this.
Still to date.
Romer, hey, Pyro, hang on.
We got to get the audio working on this side again.
Okay, sorry guys. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh. We have to share, Russ. Otherwise we feedback. Are we good now? Can you guys hear me?
No.
I'll be really loud.
World of Warcraft API. These guys can do some sick shit in World of Warcraft. I definitely recommend that if you play the game or if you're interested, check out their work. Come on up and tell us what you guys did.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? So Chris and James had to scoot early, and I'm here representing them under proxy. So I just want to let everybody know that the code is now available. So everyone get out pen, paper, cell phones, laptop, whatever you use to write this down, URL. It's btp.dod.net, and you're going to be creating an account where you download the code, so make sure you use the channel. Oh, sorry, it's btp.dod.net. The other stuff I said doesn't matter, other than using Bridget, you will be creating an account. So we had a raffle, and people would come up and use their name, and we would just throw them in, and they would promise us that they would write the code, extend it a little bit, and use the characters we were giving them for this purpose. So we have some fine people over here that entered and won. Thank you very much for taking the time. So I think that's pretty much it. Go to the website, download the code, and give it a shot for yourself. It does some amazing things. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, URL, one more time. I'm shouting. Sorry for that. It's P as in boy, T as in Tom, P as in Paul, BTP.DOD as in Department of Defense, but not really, .net. That is where you can download the code. You'll have to create an account to do it. Please use HTTPS while you're doing your account creation, especially on the DEF CON network if it's still live. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so for those of you that have been around a long time, you remember the old social engineering contest? All right.
With the
All right.
phone booth.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun with that, but we had to take a few years off because there were some legal issues with that, and I think we've managed to work our way around that. The FBI guy's not so scared of us anymore. So we had Moose volunteered to bring it back with a few other guys, and they worked really hard to make it work this year. So I don't want to steal their thunder, but Moose, if you can come up and talk about it a little bit, I'd appreciate it.
We put this together 1 month before DEF CON. We were all sitting there very drunk, wondering why can they do this at other conferences and not here anymore? So with that, it couldn't have been done without these two here. And I'm going to put on Rodent, who's going to let you know more about the contest.
All right, thank you. Well, let's see. It was brought to you by Not Kevin and Moose and the guys from Telefreak. We have Telefreak, free T-shirts, Beeve, J Falcon, Sleestack, Chromomex, Droogie, Dr. Avery, and OffensiveSecurity.com, Mutz, Elwood, Logan, Ming, Nick8CH, and also QueerCon and T-Profit, and our website's defconsccontest.com. So basically what we did is we provided a phone And there's other ways that you could compete as well, not without using the phone. So we did caller ID spoofing. We had 5 judges, and the winners successfully social engineered all sorts of information, loot, and laughs. So it's all about having fun. So we judged on technique, ingenuity, and the info that they were able to get, and the swag obtained, and a bunch of other factors. So we tried to take into account everything. And we had no social engineering girls. What was up with that? You guys would have pwned all the guys. I mean, I was really disappointed about that. But maybe next year. So we also had up a special extension to try to call Dark Tangent. So don't worry, your number didn't get out, but Beav has your number. And he wrote IWAR. So you might get an extra call or two.
Excellent.
So
my number hasn't changed in 15 years.
So, but you were busy. You didn't answer.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy. So we have some honorable mentions to Cypher FX. He worked Geek Squad for a bunch of free shirts. So if you want some free Geek Squad shirts. And then also iHacked. They social engineered the hotel. I won't tell you which one or anything, but it was really funny. And you can get more details at the Telefreak party. Mad Mex, he was a DJ contest winner. He went after people wanting to drop their docs for free money. So that was pretty funny. And Dan Novalens, he was a credit consultant. And that worked out pretty good. So second place was Z-Junk. And he got some free loot here, such as Hackers Are People Too, and some stickers. And then also first place went to Schwagalicious. And first place prize was from offensivesecurity.com, pen testing with Backtrack Online, and training and certification. So, Schwagalicious, Fat 32, Scott. So just want to say thank you to DEF CON, Dark Tangent, the goons who made this possible, Nikita, Romer, Hackajar.
On your side, are you going to have like any of the audio or any of the...
No, we were unable to record. It was a 2-party state.
Oh, okay.
EFF almost beheaded me. It was... Uh-oh.
She has a lot of love. Like a whole lot.
Uh-oh. What is that on your shirt? I heart Nikita. It's the Nikita fan club. Come on down, Nikita. Yeah. Hugs, lols, hugs. Come on, you gotta hug them all. There's a lot of Nikita love. Oh. See, this is why I love DEF CON.
We're done? Yeah.
Second and third place.
Oh, we just had a first and second place, and the honorable mentions were the third, fourth, and fifth. And
Excellent.
Okay. So
You're
thank
going to be back next year?
Yeah, we'll be back next year. So we'll have some more stuff.
And we got a phone booth this time.
Sweet. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I guess I would need to talk to you guys about what they're talking about, 'cause I don't know anything about that. But quick show of hands, how many people went to the barbecue this year? Yeah! Okay, so I was a little worried this year that it was going to get a little crazy.
We're going to move it all to this one after that.
Location, because we outgrew our old location. Kind of like DEFCON.
Yeah, really cool.
Familiar. So our new location got a huge parking lot. We didn't get in trouble with the cops. They loved us. Other than that, we had some sponsorship this year. We got sponsored by Schmoogon. So we also got sponsored by everyone else here. Everyone got food. It was fantastic. We even got food back from the staff. Even uncooked burgers. But they cooked them in a waffle iron.
that will make it a little more serious. But, all right, guys, thanks again. We'll see you next year.
I'd be so terrible moving Proctor's doing it right now. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so we're on to our second black badge. How many of you have heard of the mystery box? All right, yeah, this is by far one of the most popular contests at Con. It's also the reason that Lost doesn't get any sleep at all for like 2 weeks up until like 7 p.m. today when he crashes for about 3 weeks. So I'd like to bring Lost up and let him do his quick spiel about it.
We don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to do a full walkthrough, although I've been promising walkthroughs of all of the previous... I've been promising walkthroughs on all of the previous years, and those will get up on the website. I'd like to take a brief step back to last year, where the first cipher that everybody saw was a one-time pad. Easy to do frequency analysis on that. So it made sense if I had my ciphers in a circular buffer that the cipher you would see this year to reg would be ROT 13. And I happen to own most of the contest people with ROT 13 for several weeks. So those of you that understand what that means, I would like to give special mention to somebody who liked to remain nameless, who did not compete but actually solved the reg challenge within 32 minutes of it being posted. And it's never announced. It's just posted. And so he showed up. So I'll go really quickly. All the teams at the very beginning received a sheet that looked something like this. The square around the outside is a fiducial. If you were in the vendor area, you saw the mannequin heads that matched the mannequin heads on my contest table. Embedded inside the mannequin head was a mini projector that had an RF link back to the contest area. So when the teams were triggering things in the contest area, they were actually triggering things in the vendor area as well, and they didn't realize that. The ultimate solution was they had to hold this up, line the fiducials up, and it actually indicated which numbers in which order they needed, which was actually my personal cell phone number. And they had to actually text me a word to get the contest completed. That's an overly simplistic view. Those of you who compete understand we have multiple stages, multiple phases of crypto. My goal every year is to hit every aspect of hackerdom that I can. Physical security, lockpicking, social engineering. I made a real push this year to get the teams to interact with each other because it's all really about getting to know each other. So. And I did have foreign languages. We had both Korean and Chinese represented here. And in the past, we've done other languages as well. So I try to hit on everything. It tries to be an all-encompassing contest. I would like to announce publicly that I think last year will be last year for the mystery box. I think I'm going to do 5 years, and I'm going to call it quits. So we'll see what happens next year. The teams are done. I have limited time, and the teams are dying to know who won because they still don't know. There were stylistic ramifications of things that happened. It was very close. I'd like to thank by the way, the super bad DVDs were going to go to the last place team. I had 50 of them, but I figured it was too insulting, so I didn't give them out. We just gave them out to everyone else. So without further ado, and I just want the first place team to run up really fast because we're running out of time. So I'm going to tell you who third and who second are, and then I would like the first place team to come up. And so third place, by one mistake, dropped down to where they are, and that was Dead Code. Could you guys stand up? Dead Code. They're over here. I just want to help them out a little bit because several of them are my students. We had a famous cryptographer speak at this conference. His first name is Bruce. We'll leave his last name out of it. If you received a deck of cards at a conference where someone named Bruce, who may or may not have influenced a crypto solution involving a deck of cards that was in the book Cryptonomicon, you might know what the cards were used for. They corrupted the order of the cards, and that took them down to where they were. Second place is an incredibly close tie, and I have to give second place to two teams this year. So if I could have Security Catalyst and Mobile Disco stand up. These guys showed up with flight suits made to match to go for the contest.
Right on.
And finally, Casey, hand me that. And finally, everybody knows that my trophy every year, because I like to think that I'm primarily hardware-based, is always a giant golden tool for those of you who are new to DEF CON. So this year we have the giant golden screwdriver. So this is to go along with the giant golden wrench, monkey wrench, and things that have been given out in the past. And I can say that this year's winner, it is due to phenomenal social engineering, weaselness, slickness, and straight-up grifting. I have to give this to team, and I don't even know what his official name is at this point because they changed so many times, but it's Grifter and whoever worked with him.
What was your secret grifting technique?
Really quickly, I know we're short on time. Grifter wasn't going to play this year, and I actually talked him into it, and now he says that the mystery challenge is like crack. So those of you who don't know what the mystery challenge is, do me a favor. Don't come up to me and say, what is mystery challenge? Instead, talk to someone who's been in it, because they give a non-biased opinion. So, thank you.
Just as a quick note, I know the bees are supposed to be cleared out. We just had some goon verification that it's still pretty bad out there. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, they've called the exterminator. They're working on it. Oh, and for everybody else that is on that side that we're doing contests for, you're going to have to walk over here now because you know, we're hackers, but we can't work the sound system. All right, so next I'm going to bring up Civiak for the scavenger hunt.
Hey guys, I got nothing. I was gonna write my speech over there, but I got really drunk over there, so yep. You done? All right. Long story short, I try to put together a hunt every year. You know, I won it 5 years in a row. Not tooting my own horn, but I try to put together something that everybody can do, everybody can try, everybody can win. This year, due to some technical difficulties, I actually have two teams of winners. That was TKC and team, what was your name? Dr. Yeager. My bad. 1 gallon of Jägermeister over 2 days. Come on up, everybody. Everybody. Today, we do have to check out at some point. You know, honestly, as a tribute to everybody, it's a scavenger hunt. It's finding what needs to be found in the least possible time. I scavenged their prizes myself, personally. They'll probably win a used condom. I'm really not sure right now.
Yes! Is it yours?
That's kind of creepy. Really, we got dumpster diving, we've got social engineering, we've got a little bit of everything. Just the competing teams interpreted my list and did the best that they could. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, ask everybody to clap because these guys busted their ass. I got to borrow you. Okay. And B, I'm going to turn in probably the most amazing interpretation of anything I've ever put on the list. And again, when you compete in a competition for 5 straight years and win, and then you run it, you get a little leeway. Now, when you put something on the list, hey, Zach, would you help?
Sure.
Take that. Hang on. When you request 1 square foot of carpet, hang on, and a team comes up to you at 9:10 a.m. on Sunday and says, will this work? I don't remember 10 a.m. this morning. But they did this. I cried a little. They asked if it would work. What do you guys think? Come on now. Just for the record, this was the second place team until they turned that in. Let them know. Guys, it's a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it next year, and see you at the pool.
We still beat you. No, you cannot have it.
Dear Alexis Park, we love being there, and we'll be returning your carpet this evening. Thank you, lawyers.
Everybody get up and dance. You better clap for that man. Flea is mixing that while walking. All right, next up on the list is one of our new contests this year, Team Fortress 2. Bruce, do you want to come up and talk about your new contest?
Sure. There you are.
It's a hard act to follow, you know. So last year, I'll make this quick. Before my talk last year, I decided to throw a TF2 LAN party. Can you not hear me over there? Fuck off! So last year, before my talk, I had a Team Fortress 2 LAN party, and we had 3 people show up at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday, which was tone it down. Fuck off! All right. Anyway, so the long and short of it is there was a good turnout last year, and people had a really positive response. So we decided for ShmooCon we're going to do a TF2 party or TF2 tournament, and we tried to make it a spectator sport because normally video games are relegated to kind of a individual you and the screen kind of thing. And anyway, we tried to turn it into a spectator sport. Wrote a lot of back-end code. It went pretty well at ShmooCon, which was 30 miles from my house. So we said, what the fuck? We might as well try to take this to Vegas, which is 2,500 miles from my house, which became logistically more complicated. I learned a lot of interesting things. One, for $7,000, which is not what we spent, but we almost did, FedEx will actually just drive a truck to your house, pick up whatever the hell you want, and drive it across country in 35 hours. That's a hell of a service, man. I mean, you got to admit, if you're trying to ship Coke across the country and it's important, they'll do it for you. I also learned the distance between CP's nipples. CP, can you stand up? So, I don't know if anybody noticed, but we got dressed up, a little cosplay last night, TF2 gear, and CP was really busy with OCTF, so Heidi was helping him by making a contest in Maryland that we were going to bring out. And we said, CP, we need your measurements, and we hear the fly go down. We're like, no. And so we're like, no, we need it across around your shoulders. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, we need your chest, too. He's like, well, like what? He's like, well, across your nipples. He's like, okay. 11 inches. Like, what the hell? What? Oh, not the distance. Jesus, man. So, Mr. 11 inches over there, that's his nipples, not the fly. Anyway, so the tournament went really well. The crate made it here safe and sound. How many people saw the crate? Giant 1,100 pounds of gear that we brought out here to do this thing. A lot of custom code was written. The tournament went very well.
How did it get out here?
The crate did get out here through FedEx. They screwed up once, but they made good on their promise. But they actually said they won't take it back. So someone else is shipping it back across the country for us. Very long story. Anyway, the tournament was a custom map that was made by Me Too from DC949, who unfortunately couldn't make it, but we really appreciate the effort that he put in. The last match kind of turned into a bit of a cock-up because we had a computer crash in the middle of it. Like, the whole weekend, everything's fine. The computer crashes in the last minute. So it went to a melee-only sudden death scout battle for the end. Woo! Yeah, it was just chaos. It's just a random number generator at that point. But Mobile Disco, you guys are apparently like the Uber team because you guys won that and you got second place in the, whatchamajigger there, the other thing. So if you guys can stand up, congratulations for winning the TF2 tournament. They got a grab bag of random No Moose Gaming and Shmoocon swag, and then there was this guy Dev Wack who comes up to me and says, "Hey, what's the overall prize for the overall individual winner?" I said, "A video card." He says, "Oh shit, my video card just fried." Dude plants his ass in his seat and plays the game the entire weekend, and promptly won himself a video card. So. So Dev Wack isn't here right now, but he's already got his card. So I want to say really quick, thanks to DEF CON, the Alexis Park staff. Jeez.
Drink,
yeah. Anyway, the Riviera staff, and thanks to Pyro and Russ for helping us out. Thanks to the Shmoo Group, Shmoocon, and... Yeah. So, holy shit. No Moose Gaming, Frank, and oh my God, I'm gonna die. Logan, Nick, and Travis. Jesus, we're all a big help. Real quick, we're gonna do this again next year. What we're gonna do is have one day of regular gaming, and then we're gonna have a day of actual just unlimited, unrestricted cheating. Okay? I'm serious. So we had a talk this year on cheating in TF2 and Source Engine. We're going to give you a lot of time and lead up to think about this and how to do it, but it's seriously going to be one day, bring all your best cheats, bring your best bots, bring whatever, and we'll let them all have it out in the room at once and see who's the best dick in the world. So, anyway, really thanks a lot, folks.
All right, so in order to keep this short, we decided to take all the shit that Deviant Ollam is doing at DEF CON and put it all into one segment so we can knock this shit out. So, Deviant, if you guys can come up and do your damage.
We get a feed. Do you need a video? Yeah. Okay, here, give it to me and I'll plug it.
Let's give him the Jeopardy tune. Do, 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 do.
All right, thank you very, very much, as always, everyone who runs contests, everyone who runs DEF CON, for letting us come out, for letting us have so much fun. Control-Alt-F12. We really never think that people are going to continually show up, clone, and just everyone keeps coming out. Everyone keeps having fun. Clone.
There you go.
We got it?
Hey, can we have the video up on the screens, please?
If it's coming your way, put it on the video screens, please.
It's definitely feeding.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So we'll just wait until just keep talking until it shows up.
Okay, while we're up here, can we please have Skylar, Valenex, Shane, Pentac, Chuki, Jagor, please get up here really fast. Now. So while they're running up, again, thank you to everyone who came out to Beer Cooling. It was fun. The teams never cease to amaze me, what they're going to show up with. They always have a good time. We blow through a lot of it really fast. And absolutely, I'm always impressed. This year, Team Sax, they had a great cooling run. They had a little bit of salt. However, we had to knock them to third. Team Hebrew was second place. Always the best attitude. Team Ad Hoc dropped a beer from 80 degrees to 30 degrees in 22 seconds, was our champion again. Okay. Well, it's out of order.
That's fine.
All right.
Do it.
All right. So on to what you heard me screaming about all day on the floor. Gringo Warrior. Who came to see Gringo Warrior?
Yeah.
We were amazingly impressed with how fast people got out. This year we had the most contestants I've ever had at a con. 25 people played. Never was a single man left behind. No man or woman was stuck in jail at the end. I've never had a perfect run of contestants. Yeah. Skylar was in third. Shane was dynamite. Only by 3 points did Shane lose to Nuclear Steve, however. So Steve, where's Steve? Also the champion of our marksmanship contest at DEF CON Shoot. Way to go, Steve, and everyone else who came and played. That is a black badge that Steve gets to take home now because we are officially, somehow, someone thinks I'm responsible, and we have turned this into a black badge event. So please come out next year. We're going to try to get a little more visibility, maybe even a camera so you can see the shenanigans. How many people like the fact that our inflatable guard died in like the second run? So the next contestant became the guard each time, and we had people tackling each other in the middle of a lockpick course. It was wonderful. Yeah, we're gonna add so much more fun next year, and I really can't wait to see how it all develops. So thank you very, very much. The winner not only is getting that, but he's also getting this Ninja pick set. We're gonna give away a passport drive, some other things. I'm so pleased that everyone has so much fun with this. Thank you. Whoa! Hey, Babak.
All right, that was quite good. Deviant's going to try to run the laptop here while I talk since his stuff's funny. So the speed picking competition has been around for a while. It's changed hands a few times, and we had a lot of fun with it this year. The idea for the grand prize originally actually came from Barry Wells, which you can see in the photo, and Han Fei. We've always maintained that the relationship that Tool holds with the locksmith vendors and the industry is a lot better in Europe, and in this case, the European Locksmith Foundation came to us and said, hey, we want to do a lockpicking contest at our event next year. And we said, okay, sure, only if we can hold LockCon there. And, oh, by the way, you have to pay for a ticket for the winner of our competition at DEF CON, too. They're like, sure. So we did that this year, and we had a few contestants. We had a lot of contestants, actually, over 40 almost. And ultimately, we had a very close tie for third between Chris Penikoff and Chuki, who is not here at the moment. And
still a big hand anyway.
Yeah, big hand. We had four really difficult Abyss padlocks. Oh, there he is. That Han Fei pinned to be really, really difficult. The first top pin is a serrated pin. Pins 2 through 5 are spools. Yeah. It was real fun. Unfortunately, third and fourth place, Chris and Chuki, they were not able to actually open any of the locks in the semifinals, which is why they were tied. Now, our two finalists, second place, we had Skylar Town, who was actually able to open one of the locks. And finally, Jagor, who is not here also, he managed to open both of the final locks in record time. It was absolutely amazing. With the zen-like calm, it was fantastic. And he is the one who is actually coming to join us at LockCon 2010 in Istanbul, Turkey, fully paid trip. Everyone else is getting not only a tool pick set and an emergency credit card set, but also the lock that prevented them from going to Turkey.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for everything. Thank you to my staff, my team, who fucking slaves away in the village. Come by the village. We love you all. Thank you. See you next year.
All right, on the same lines of new contests, how many of you made it out to the 10,000 cent pyramid? Wasn't that awesome?
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, can we have the promoters of 10,000 cent pyramid come up and speak about their contest? There we go. Here he is.
Hey, everybody! How'd you like the 10,000 cent hacker pyramid?
Yeah!
Yeah! Honestly, I can't do that goddamn voice for another goddamn minute. So I want to be really quick because you guys have been listening to a lot of other people talking a hell of a lot. I want a big thanks to Nikita. She's the one who was whispering in Jeff's ear to make a new contest happen for me, and I really appreciate it. I kind of want to thank Jeff for showing up, and most amazingly, and all of you will understand, he stayed till the end.
That's pretty rare.
It is indeed, sir. I want to thank my team, Jackie, Dave, Ben, and Matt. Needed your help. You came through for me. I need more help for next year, though, because as those of you who are there know, it takes a hell of a lot of people to run one of these things. I want to thank all of the celebrities, all the contestants, and especially the audience members, most especially those of you who stayed when we went over time. Really appreciate that. of course, I do want to majorly thank our champion, the first winner of 10,000 cents, Shane. Canadian. Oh, right, Canadian cents. The celebrity that he was working with to get that was Dan Kaminsky. And yes, we did actually give him 62 pounds of copper alloy that is useless in this country. We are going to do it next year. I've got one ask for all of you. Please send me categories with answers. That is the hardest damn job there is outside of actually running DEF CON. I will set up a website with an email address, and we're going to make it happen again next year. Thanks, everybody.
For our next Black Badge competition, I'd like to invite Joe Grand up to the stage to talk about badge hacking. Please welcome Joe.
Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. All right, so hold on. Let me start my watch. They're giving me 10 minutes, and I'm going to use it all. Let me start with a little story. In 1940, for the first DEF CON badge hacking contest, all right, a few people laughed. All right, actually, so before I get going, I want to thank a few people, and I think I end up doing this every year because they're sometimes forgotten. Grifter for organizing the skyboxes, and also Led for dealing with that, setting up all the parties that you guys go to all night long, skybox coordination. Come on, you guys fucking went to all the parties. Give them a hand. Gee whiz. Gosh darn it. Curses. And then also to Neil, which is, where is he? He's over there with the Mohawk again. He helped immensely with the actual graphical design part of the badges. And we always seem to forget about him. Yeah, if you like the badges, then please tell him too.
He is the one and only full-time DEF CON employee. Come on, Neil.
Woo! Yeah. And he has an awesome hairdo. Okay, so for the contest this year, we had 23 entries. I don't remember exactly how many we had last year, but this is the 4th year we've done the contest. And for those of you who don't know, the goal of the contest is to spend the weekend modifying the badge, whether it's software or hardware or mechanical or whatever, to make it do something that I hadn't intended it to do, to make it something unique and mischievous and just something cool. So 23 entries isn't bad, but we had, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of people here. Well, actually 67 or 6,000 people with badges, right? So that's a really low percentage. So as I say every year, I hope to see more. But the entries were really cool. And this year was actually, there was a lot of entries, and it was just hard for one person to judge it. And usually it's me, and it's this totally subjective thing. And, you know, people try to bribe me with cash and jewelry and everything. Which didn't really work that well this time because I wanted to bring on Dark Tangent and bring on Zach Franken to help me with that, to make the decision. So it would be a little more impartial. And it was. So let's see. This was also the first year that it was a black badge contest. So I sort of thought the stakes were raised a little bit. And we had some good entries. So let's see. I'm going to start with the honorable mention. And those guys already got their prize. But what I'm going to do is just call the top 3, starting with 3, 2, 1, after the honorable mention. And you guys can just come over and stand on the side. And then I'll get off the stage and give you prizes. So the honorable mention goes to Smitty and the Minions, also known as Team Halibut. And these guys made the Super Mecha Uber badge hack. And they were the only team and the only people that I know of in the entire conference that found one of each badge type. Because if you look down, you have mostly human badges, but it's a puzzle. And there's 7 different badge types that connect together. So they were the only team that actually got all 7 together, put them together physically, and then wired them together because there is badge-to-badge communication with these things. They were the only ones that took advantage of that and modified the firmware to do some really cool LED animations and stuff. So honorable mention to them for actually being social and going outside of their regular attendee type to get some badges. So that was cool.
Yeah.
So I do need to mention, too, there was so many really cool various hacks, you know, whether they're fixing bugs in the code or doing software stuff or, you know, lots of bling and LED related stuff. But the top 3 that won were 3 that DT, Zach, and I both went through. All of us went through the list individually and marked off the ones we liked. And these 3 were the ones that all of us liked without even really paying attention to what anyone else had looked at. So here we go. So third place goes to Solder Guy. And he competed in previous years, and this year he turned the badge into a blue box, DTMF generator, and a voice amplifier. And I asked him, well, how come you didn't put a red box in? And he's like, well, as far as I know, it's still a possession it's still illegal to be in possession of a red box. So you can just change that in the source code. So he's going to send me the source code. And actually, by the way, anybody who hacked their badge, send me source code, send me pictures. I'll put all that stuff on the website and make sure that it gets onto defcon.org. Yeah, so he gets third place. Second place goes to Team Hack the Badge. And where are they? There they are. Okay, they're the guys over there in the corner with that blimp-looking thing. They created something called the sound-fearing blimp. And they took 3 human badges sort of in a triangle formation, mounted it to a blimp, and using the microphones on each badge, move the blimp around. So if there's a lot of noise, coming from one area, that fan will turn on and kind of push the blimp. So we'll see if it really works now. Yeah, okay, maybe we should try this in a little different way. How about that side of the room, you guys over here, make a lot of noise like right now. And it's sort of floating around. And now how about you guys in the middle make some noise? So it's kind of getting pushed away. The motors are going. They're tiny motors. And I guess you guys can make noise, but it's already running away from you, but you can try. And now it's sinking. Yeah, this is also the only contest that used three badges communicating together. And there's actually all sorts of other badge-to-badge communication that they've implemented. So, I don't know. It's kind of cool. It was an interesting thing. All right, and now for the winner of the black badge for the DEF CON 17 badge hacking contest. Let's see. So I'm wearing this thing, and I'm going to turn it on. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is like going to give me a seizure. Yeah, it sort of makes me want to throw up. So I don't know what it looks like on the screen right now, but this is part of the winning badge hacking entry by Zaz, who's here somewhere. He's right there. Where is he? Where's the Mohawk? There he is. Okay, so he'll come up and stand back here. So I'm going to tell the story of this project, and this is what Zaz came to me with when he was presenting the entry. Oh, yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, thanks. Now I can see, and I'm not going to puke. Okay, so I'm going to do this, without his Australian accent, but it was like, all right, so imagine this situation where, you have to break into Joe Grant's house to get the black badges. And he was really like, oh, like Broadway show. And so the first thing is you have to defeat the facial recognition system. Is that right? System, yeah. So you put on your hat, and there's a special frequency that's based on some mathematical paper from the Advances in Computer Entertainment that if you blink the lights at a certain frequency, it will generate all this optical noise and throw off the facial recognition and screw up the cameras and add all this noise, and it makes it really hard to see who you are. So you put on your hat, and it's on, and you get through to his bedroom where he stores the black badges.
That's where all the magic happens,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, and he's 9 months old now. So you're in Joe Grand's room, and now you have to get to the black badges, but he has a PIR motion sensor. So you need to defeat that, like in the movie Sneakers, where you have to heat up the room and move really slowly. So you pull out your DEF CON 16 badge, one of only 2 entries that have used the DEF CON 16 badge, and yes, you're allowed to use previous badges in this contest. It has a temperature sensor on it, and it will tell you when it's safe to start moving when the room is hot enough to fool the sensor. And then you have to move really slow, like 2 feet per, 2 inches per, 2 inches per second, of course, because I just saw Sneakers the other day. And there's a servo motor that controls 2 little feet. So when it's safe to walk, the servo motors start moving, and you know how slow to walk through Joe Grand's room to get underneath his pillow where the black badges are held. Except this year they were in China. And that is the story. So Zaz wins the black badge for the first time that the badge hacking contest is a black badge event. And with a multi-year hack. And I think I'm going to take this off so I don't throw up. And there we go. So thank you. We will see you next year. We'll have our badges done hopefully by Christmas, right? Christmas, okay. And we're going to make like 15,000 badges this year. So thank you.
All right, so we actually missed this last year, but we had the cannonball run again this year, so I'm going to call Tommy Pickles up to give his quick spiel on this.
You're not in jail.
Hey everybody, can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, I'm not gonna babble this year. I actually brought notes. Okay, this was DEF CON's Cannonball Run 5. It wasn't annual the last couple of years because I moved to New York. I also have lots of points on my license. This year it was actually restarted because of the death of Dom DeLuise. So thanks to him for that. The funniest story this year was I actually got pulled over on the way to the start line in Redondo Beach. Luckily, I have a New York license, and I like to lie that I live in New York and that this is my sister's car that I'm driving, so he let me go. Although I was wearing a DEF CON Cannonball Run t-shirt. Okay, Evil Matt gets special thanks and praise because Evil Matt actually came to the starting line with his co-pilot dressed as Zombie Dom DeLuise and Zombie Farrah Fawcett. The Zombie Farrah Fawcett was actually complete with a bleeding nose from the cocaine and ass cancer. All right, Google Maps says the distance and the time. Come on, guys. It's been at least a couple months. Google Maps says like the distance and the time for from Redondo Beach to Las Vegas to this doorstep is 288 miles, and it's 4 hours and 30 minutes. I arrived in 4 hours and 37 minutes, bringing up the tail end. The teams were Team Sodomy, Team Enola, Team Failhat, Team Z, Team Brian, and Tommy Sucks. The winner's time was 3 hours and 50 minutes. I suspect some speeding was done. Special thanks to Queeg and MMCA for some impromptu timekeeping. There was a problem with unboxing the time clock and putting it out somewhere where you could get to it without a badge. Special thanks to Jeff and Russ for putting up with us and all the staff of DEF CON. The winner was Team Brian with 3 hours and 50 minutes. So I'd like to bring him up here and...
You know what that averages out to for speed?
No, I don't. Next year is going to be a little bigger. We started playing with GPS tracking and stuff like that. And if I do it next year, I promise that I'm going to have a video screen so we can track the user's process throughout the Cajon Pass and stuff. If you want more information on this, you can go to defconcannonballrun.com or just read it on the forums. But thank you, everybody, for putting up with this stuff, and come out next year. Oh, and this is a signed copy of the movie Cannonball Run, but it's signed by me and El Jefe, so it's probably worth about $3.
Oh, we've got to do the FF next. He's got to catch a flight. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go a little out of order right now because somebody's got to catch a flight. So we're going to do the results of the EFF fundraiser right now so she can get the money and get out of town. That's a smart move. Okay. So every year, a number of organizations throw fundraisers for the EFF because we love them. And representing the efforts of DEF CON is Mel, who's going to talk about what DEF CON did, what some of the other contests did, and then we're going to present her with some money, and we're all going to say, fuck yeah, we love what you do. We're going to sign up and become members. So, with that said, Mel, come on up.
All right. Okay, great. So, whether it's protecting... oh, it was a rough night. Oh, yeah, drink. That's probably going to help. I think that's what got me in this mess, drinking too much. Anyway, whether it's protecting blogger rights or fighting against illegal government wiretapping or working to reform the Patriot Act, the EFF has been fighting to protect your digital rights and privacy since 1990. Yeah, a long time. And, despite a tough economy that we're all suffering through, you guys turned out in record numbers to help support the issues that should be important to us all. And whether that was buying Brando for $1, it's got electrolytes, or writing a check, or anonymously kicking in a stack of unmarked bills, we got it from all different corners. So I'd like to get a big hand for all who contributed out there. Thank you. And specifically, I want to thank the 949 crew with the Brando experience. They raised $330 there, a buck at a time, but it all adds up. Dan with my crew, a lot of those people from 303, they were a big help with our firearms training system, law enforcement only, but hey, we got it here. Well, we raised $28.60 on the firearms training. The fabulous art of Eddie Mize brought in $1,107. And Hackajar throws his spectacular party upstairs early on in the con, and they had $8,000, over $8,000 contributed from people that attended that. Wow. But that's not all. We had lots of opportunities. On the EFF table, we had them in 2 locations this year, and they also brought in over $16,000 in donations from all of you. So the DEF CON staff and myself want to thank all of you who contributed in any way. And to find out a little bit more about the EFF, go to EFF.org, find out ways that you can get involved there. And with that, I'd like to bring up DT and Alyssa from EFF for the check presentation. So,
I'd like to mention that also over about 200 new members signed up. So every year they get stronger and stronger, and that's a great thing. So we've got the box full of cash from everybody, all the different contests, and then we also have a check from DEF CON. Every year I like to round up what we generate with the FAT system, so we're rounding up the $2,800 to $10,000.
This short and sweet because Virgin America's not going to wait for me. This is our favorite conference to come to every year. We get so much love, both verbal and financial, from all of you. And times are tough right now for a lot of people, but that hasn't been reflected in your generosity to us this year. And we all thank you very much and are grateful and are very humbled by it. So thank you from the bottom of our cold black little hearts. We really, 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 really appreciate it. All the best to all of you, and we hope to see you next year. Thank you.
All right. So with that, we resume. There's only 2 more announcements to make, and then we do our special closing performance. And we're going to pass it off for the Hacker Jeopardy.
So all of you, do you guys get to go out and watch Hacker Jeopardy again this year? Was it as crazy as usual? I missed it. I was working. Was it good? All right, Wayne, we'll come up here and tell us our winning teams.
This year, we've grown up a little bit, Jeff. It's come a long way. We actually have a new buzzer system. Cheryl was freaking out because we had 4 PhDs trying to figure out how to use it, and I bought it for $60 from Fisher Price. I want to thank Banshee. Banshee was our Vanna. She retired. We've got a new Vanna, and that's Funball. I don't know if she's here. What? Yeah, she's stand up. She's doing an awesome job, and hopefully she'll come back next year. Little Jenny is our Beer Betty, and G-Mark, without him, we have no scoring at all. He joined up because the only thing we ever had before was drunk scorekeepers, and he got pissed off because he lost one year because they misscored it. So we've done an awful lot of growing up. We're having a lot of fun, and I do enjoy the tuxedo. We had a couple of interesting things this year going on. Team Whoopus, they are the highest scoring in history at 6,700 points, but succeeded in losing at the end. But 6,700. Another interesting thing happened is Bunnies for Priest got selected and played, and they just happened to be in the game that had the category Bunnies for Priest. They didn't get one of them right, and it was all about male genitalia. So it was an interesting evening, to say the least. We've also had some Humperdinck Award went for one of the teams that actually consumed 20 beers in under 30 minutes. Yeah, give it up for them. I don't know how the hell they did that. And then we had some other teams that did really, really, really miserably. Horrible. Yeah, there was a security vendor team, an evil security vendor team who absolutely, totally sucked. And I'm not allowed to mention their name because out of embarrassment, and it's all going to be on YouTube, but their initials are McAfee. They go to work for Symantec next week, is what I'm told. But this year's winning team, Billy Goto and the Nymphs, they did not come back to defend this year, and which was actually good, because we have some real new blood. And for you newbies who are new to the con, you don't have to be an Uber hacker in order to play, as there's evidence from all the Uber hackers who really suck this year. You need to know about sex, beer, and that'll get you through. That'll get you through most of the game. And South America, yeah, it's correct. The country of South America. And oddly enough, only one person, one of the teams actually knew the final Jeopardy question. And it was, he coined the term nerd in a 1950 picture book. Dr. Seuss, but only one of them knew it. And I think we only have one of our team members here. The team is Nice Hat. Their members are Gray, Pops, EMK, and JB Terror. Is there anybody here from Nice Hat? This is our Black Badge winner. They'll be back next year to defend. And it's hopefully we'll get some new members. We had 25 teams submit. Over 700 questions came in finally from you guys. And as the other gentleman said, yeah, it's a bitch, and the more help we get from you. So thanks an awful lot. We'll see you next year.
Was that G-Mark? Oh, D. All right, so we've got one contest left, and it's Capture the Flag. So if I can get the Benjitsu guys up here. DD Tech, sorry. We'll get that started.
As many of you know, this year we have a new team organizing Capture the Flag. It seems, yep. After 3 fantastic years, they knew the Where's that Everclear? We put out a call for contest organizers, And out of all the submissions, there were only 3 really serious submissions. And out of those, it was a very difficult task. But we went with Team DD Tech because of their unconventional approach. And being a first-year organization team, it's very difficult because all the prior teams have raised the bar so incredibly high. It's almost impossible to not make a mistake in the first year. And I think they did a very admirable job. And are you guys going to be back next year to do this?
We'll see.
We'll see. You got to let me know soon.
Well, first of all, let me tell you that he announced this not right after DEF CON last year. Yeah, so time to prepare next time might be a little bit better. Hey, first of all, we're DD... What's that? Done by Christmas. We're DD Tech. Here's my crew right here. You know, one of the things when we decided to take on CTF, we thought we'd take it on and have a little bit of fun for ourselves, and we thought, wouldn't it be epic if we hacked one of the foremost epic hacking competitions in the world? This is our crew up here, but I would like to introduce 3 new members, or 3 current members of our crew, Mars, Mercury, and Vulcan. If they'd come and join us up on the stage. And I'm going to pass it to Mars.
All right. So some of y'all may know me as Chris Eagle, formerly of the School of Root and now CEO of DD Tech. And so for those of you who didn't figure it out beforehand or before now, we were sitting in the back corner running the game from our contestants table. Okay, well, we won. So it was rough going. Yeah, we had a short turnaround time, and we were able to churn out lots of bug-filled code to run the game. I'd like to start out with thanking the guys that dove on the grenades and sat up front and took the brunt of your abuse for all the problems, while we sat back and thank God we weren't sitting up there. I'd like to thank the DEF CON staff who worked diligently with us to help pull it off. Russ, Pyro, Teresa with the Riv, Cheryl, the Knot crew, Locke. Thanks for everything. The school team who backed us up down there. And while I'm telling a little bit about the game, I'd like to have the top 3 teams kind of congregate up here in no particular order. That's the Rutards, the Veda Gods, and Plus, if you could all start filtering up since they don't know how this turned out. So a couple months of bug-filled code in production, real quick turnaround to get the quals online. We had over 500 teams sign up for quals, with over 250 teams actually submitting answers and appearing to play. From that, we took the top 9 teams. Obviously, we were totally bogus, sitting there trying to run the show from behind the scenes. We were a little bit lofty goals, fell short on some of them. Hope to do better next year if you'll have us back. Tried to introduce a new scoring system, which was kind of commodity-based. None of the breakthrough stuff. They were kind of self-valuing attacks. If you had an attack that nobody else had, that's worth a lot. If you had an attack that everybody else had, that's not worth a lot. So it kind of self-prices and works it out. It allowed for really significant jumps in the very last moments of the game, and we saw some of that after the scoreboard went dark. People dropping a lot of Ode and rapid rises to the top. So maybe a little bit of surprise as you see who the top 3 teams are if you're tracking the scoreboard all weekend. So to all the contestants, I'd like to thank you for putting up with our slop for the 3 days. I'd like to acknowledge all the 10 teams. We had a great international crowd. 5 teams from Korea, or somewhat, they seem to, most of the team members were from Korea, plus Song of Freedom, Lawler Skaters dropping from Rafflecopters, Wow Hackers, and the Sapheads, great cartoonists, those guys. 2 European teams, the Rutards and the Sexy Pandas, best name in the contest. And 2 U.S. teams, we had Shellfish and the Veda Gods. A lot of returning people, a lot of new blood, nice to see, especially the international competition. The teams are getting bumped off the bottom with only 2 left at this point. So if you were tracking the game at all, We tried to have some displays up, a little bit cryptic. There was a great write-up on how the scoring system worked inside the front page of the program. We appreciate all the space dedicated to that. I'm not going to run down the top 10. A lot of stuff will be posted on the DD Tech site. All the packet captures will become available. A lot of statistics on scoring and attack timing and so on. And we'll try to generate kind of interesting statistics, but we'll make all that available to folks that are interested in combing through it and see how people do stuff, especially dropping busted-ass shellcode that uses every socket descriptor available. Better backdoors, guys. Okay, so among the top 3 here, we'll start off in third place, leave you a little suspense. In third place, we had a plus, so great job from one of our Korean teams. Nice job down there. And then most of you saw that Veda Gods kind of tracked along at the top of the scoreboard for most of the weekend. And then, of course, after the scoreboard went dark, you don't see that graph. That'll be something that you see, the big jump towards the end. And we had a major, major battle for first place there. But in the end, in a very close result, not quite overtaking first place, we had second place, the Rootards, which side over here? Leaving the Veda Gods as this year's CTF champions. Please come on up for 8 black badges and 8 leather jackets, I think. I'd like to also thank everybody who stopped by and made a donation for one of our DD Tech T-shirts. We raised $400 for Hackers for Charity, and ended up with one for Jeff, which reads, DD Tech are the bringers of Rainy Doom spank ass to other monkey software providers.
Which is pretty telling.
Yeah.
So, Veda Gods.
Come on up and get What's that? So I don't know who's getting them all.
So we limit the amount of prizes to 8 team members. Even if their team's larger, they only get 8. So they've got 8 black badges, and following in the tradition, they also get 8 leather jackets. So they're the Pimptacular limited jackets. You'll never see them anywhere else. Only the CTF winners get them, and the black badges. So these guys are quite fantastic. Let's give them a round of applause. And they're automatically entered to defend their title next year. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to make one quick announcement, which is if all the department heads will meet for, and deputies will meet for debrief in 20 minutes. We're now going to do something we started with Joe Grant's badge. We're going to turn off the lights. We're going to turn them very low. DJ Jackalope is going to spin a little bit of music. We're going to hold up our badges, and we're going to get a video of all of them strobing to the beats.
So if you don't want your picture taken or your face shown, hide it.
Team
there's a secret mode that none of you have found in the badge. There was a secret mode meant for the black and white ball, and that's if you expose your badge to a certain sound level for a certain number of seconds, it freaks out and it starts blinking SOS, SOS. So maybe you guys will figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys were partying hard enough, so maybe next year.
Okay, DEF CON is July 29th through August 1st next year. So mark your calendars now. See you guys next year. Thank you so much. Stay away from the bees at the pool.